I just wanted to say, if you are only here for the eBay pricing information, jump to this timestamp right here, because I do end up getting sidetracked just a little bit when I talk about pricing and my own personal opinions of market value. So if you don't care about any of that, just jump to that timestamp and you'll see exactly what my pricing strategy for eBay is. For the rest of you that are here for me to yak your ear off, let's get to it. Hey you guys, it's Lindy. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing some mind-numbingly tedious work in my basement. What are you up to today? So this is what I'm working on today. This is a shelf of items that are already paid for, but they have not yet been picked up. And items are kind of spilling over here too. And the problem is when items are paid for and I set them over here on the shelf because they're pending pickup, the problem is it becomes kind of a disaster once I'm like moving things and pulling things and grabbing things and putting things back. It just kind of becomes a cluttered mess. And then when somebody wants to pick up, it can be difficult to find things if it's not well organized. So I am going to spend some time organizing the shelf. And while I do that, I want to talk to you today about pricing. Because, you know, I feel like doing a little bit of critical thinking during mind-numbing work can be stimulating to the brain, if you know what I mean. So come, let us stimulate our brains together and talk about pricing strategies when you're a reseller. So now, part of the reason why I wanted to discuss this today was also because I've seen... Let's not drop things, Lindy. A big part of why I wanted to also discuss some of these things is because I was seeing some comments on my videos questioning my pricing. Not questioning in the sense of, well, why are you doing it this way? You should be doing it that way. But rather questioning as in I'm shortchanging myself on a lot of the items that I sell. You know, while a lot of people think that a fast nickel is better than a slow dime, because that's basically my selling model. I'm like quick flip. I've told you guys before in my From Source to Sold video series, you know, from the time I source an item to the time I sell an item and get the money for it, it's a 2-week time frame. So I'm definitely in that quick flip, fast nickel mindset. I do still see a lot of comments from people that are not questioning my decision, but rather concerned that I might be leaving too much money on the table just to get that desired quick flip of this business model that I'm doing. Like I've had some people leave comments like, you sell too cheap. How do you make any money? Or some people saying, I really like how you sell, but I think you are way underselling your items. I'm shocked at how cheap your prices are. Or it seems like your prices are really low. Will your customers really not pay more than that? And so in this video today, I want to talk about my personal thought strategy regarding how exactly I'm selling on Facebook. And I also want to talk about pricing on platforms like eBay, because there is a definite difference. I do not use the same pricing strategy on a platform like eBay that I would on Facebook, because my pricing strategy for Facebook could be very, very damaging to the eBay platform as a whole. So I want to talk about that, because I know that pricing is one of those things, and I need to remember to work while I talk. Let's work while we talk, Lindy. So the first massive, massive difference between how I price on eBay versus how I price on Facebook is that I do not sell items as cheap on eBay as I do Facebook. Here's why. On eBay, that is an entire marketplace of multiple sellers that is affected by the sale price that I choose for any item I'm putting on the platform. Meaning, if I'm pricing everything half off of what the market value is on eBay, I am tanking the market for all other sellers on eBay. But when I'm pricing items on my Facebook page, I am literally the only seller that is on that page. Now I know, turn so you can see me when I'm actually working over here. Now I know when I price my items on my Facebook page, I am literally pricing items at my desired profit margin and what I am personally comfortable with giving zero regard to other sellers, because there is no other sellers on my page. I am the only one. Whatever price I choose to price my items at has no effect on any other seller directly. And I know what you might be thinking. You might be thinking, oh, well, it's pretty selfish to think that, because if you're selling a $100 item for $40 on Facebook, it's pretty selfish to think that your sale price has absolutely no effect on any other seller because you're selling an item for a dollar amount. That should have an effect on every single seller of that item. But that's not exactly how I see it. Because you see, when someone is doing comp research, or if there is a buyer that is outside of my own personal Facebook page, the prices that I'm selling items for on Facebook are not in market research at all, because I'm not selling on Facebook Marketplace. I am selling on a personal page. I need to put this right behind there. There we go. Put you back. So whatever I choose to sell an item at on Facebook, on my own personal Facebook page, that's like between you, me, and the wall. I am not tanking any markets for anybody. I am not having any sort of negative effect on any other sellers. Drop my phone. I quite literally price items on Facebook for what I think my customers will pay for things, so that I can sell items fast, get the money faster, because after having so many years of selling on e-commerce platforms under my belt, frankly, I'm just tired of waiting for money. And I honestly, I feel like I'm rambling. I'm definitely not trying to ramble, and I'm not trying to just make this about Lindy justifying her behavior. I promise I'm gonna get to like the more general reseller selling information. I promise. I just wanted to get this out first. In the 20 years that I have been a reseller, I have just grown very, very tired of sourcing an item, putting an item on a platform, and then waiting indefinitely for it to sell. I am more of the mindset now where if I am sourcing an item, I want to sell the item fast. I want to get the profits for it fast. I am quite literally tired of sitting items on shelves waiting for them to sell. For instance, this box right here, you've probably seen it in a good handful of my videos now over the last 3 months or so. You know, it was in the background of a video that I did talking about getting free inventory for eBay. It was in the background of countless vlogs that I've done over the summer, and yet this box is still here. This right here is an eBay shelf. I'm working right here on a Facebook shelf. Do you see how bare it is? Do you see how bare my Facebook shelf is? It's because people are buying stuff. They're buying stuff, they're picking it up, it's getting shipped off. Everything that is on this shelf here is all eBay, and I can't tell you the last time something sold on this shelf and I shipped it out. Now let's talk about what this item is. What is this item? Is this a super niched item that nobody wants and that's why it's still sitting here on eBay? No, it's actually not. This is prompting me to do an experiment right here on the spot. I'm gonna put this item on Facebook and I'm gonna put it in this video how fast it sells. That's what we're gonna do. This item is not a super niched item that people don't want. This item is a mother flippin' massage gun. It's a massage gun, and it's a nice massage gun. And yet it has been sitting on eBay for, oh my gosh, I can't even pretend to know how long it's been on eBay. At least a year. At least, minimum a year. So this item was sourced, listed, and put on eBay countless months ago, and here it sits. It has been here for a really long time, and every single minute that this massage gun is sitting on this shelf is a minute that capital is tied up, and I can't use it to go source other items. So you know what? That's what I'm gonna do right now. I was not planning this. I was legit not planning this. I am going to pull this down off of eBay and I'm going to put it on my Facebook page and we'll see how fast it sells. And I'll include that information right here. Told you it was gonna sell. I knew it was gonna sell. And that's why I price items the way I do. I price items to move. I give items a price that my customers don't even think about. They just type sold in the comments and the item is sold. That way I don't have items sitting on shelves. That way I don't have endless capital that's tied up. So anyway, This video is really turning out to be different than I expected, not gonna lie. So my current pricing strategy on Facebook is that of get the money that I am most comfortable with, that is a price that my customers jump at the opportunity to claim, so that I am able to rinse and repeat that much faster. When I price my items, I am not considering other resellers because there is no other resellers on my page. And it's not for any other reason than I am just running my own business, minding my own business on my own page. So now let's talk about pricing for eBay. Honestly, pricing on eBay can be a very, very touchy subject because a lot of people are affected by whatever price you choose to price your items at on the eBay platform. And this isn't just for eBay, it's also for Amazon sellers, it's for Poshmark sellers, it's for Mercari sellers, it's Whatnot. Maybe not so much Whatnot because Whatnot is not your typical e-commerce platform, it's more of a live selling platform. And I guess when we're discussing pricing on a platform like eBay, it's more of a traditional selling marketplace versus a live selling marketplace. So let's just leave Whatnot pricing out of this equation. Now, when you are pricing items on eBay or any other typical e-commerce platform, you really do need to be cognizant of other sellers. It is very, very easy to be selfish and just do your own thing because, I mean, hey, you're just using this e-commerce platform for your own personal use, your own personal business. So why would you have to take any other sellers into consideration? This is your business after all. You're just selling on a public e-commerce platform. And while there is some truth to that, you would be naive to think that damaging market pricing for particular items wouldn't have lasting effects on the market for certain items. You know, over the last 20 years, I have seen so many market fluctuations in prices of things. Let's use my salad dressing and hot sauce analogy, shall we? Recently, I just did a video where I was talking about sourcing at the grocery store, and I was referencing, you know, however many years ago, 6 years ago, when I was actively sourcing things like salad dressings and hot sauces, and I was getting a particular price for them. I can't get those prices anymore. Nobody can. Can I tell you why? Because of sellers changing the market value of these items by constantly undercutting each other to have the cheapest price. Now, is that good for the consumer? Of course it's good for the consumer. It's freaking awesome for the consumer. I'm not sure what consumer would want to pay $10 for a bottle of Taco Bell hot sauce, or how many people would want to pay a $15 premium for a $4 bottle of salad dressing that they can't get on the East Coast because they no longer live in the Midwest. Of course, these market drops are good for consumers, they're just not good for resellers. And sadly, items like these, resellers, we did it to ourselves. It was resellers competing against resellers that essentially tanked the price of a lot of items that are on the market now. Now, is that true for every single item that has seen a market price drop over the years? No, of course. Everything has its own story. However, you cannot deny that resellers themselves have been a direct cause of a lot of these market changes on platforms like eBay. So, would I personally use my current pricing strategy when I list items on eBay? No. No, I absolutely would not. And there are a lot of people that think I would based on a video that I did where I talked about how I woke up my eBay store overnight. In that video, and I will link it somewhere either up here in the iCards or down in the video description below. So in that video, I talked about how I did a series of tasks to essentially wake up my eBay store from being flushed down the toilet for so long. And one of the things that I did was dropping my prices temporarily 50%. And then after that, raising them back up 30%, which essentially means that overall, in the grand scheme of things, my eBay prices were dropped 35%-ish overall on average. Now, when I dropped all of my prices 50%, was I the lowest on the market for a lot of those items? Maybe. I don't know. I honestly didn't check. I didn't feel the need to check to see if I was tanking the market because I did it for 7 days. That was it. 7 days. I personally think that the problem contributing to the race to the bottom mindset on a site like eBay are when sellers purposefully seek out the lowest price of the item that they're selling and price their item lower than that, and then keep it there. So typical retail, when you need to move something, you drop the price, you clearance it out. It's not necessarily a pricing model that you just, do right off the bat. If you have items listed on eBay, they're not selling, to try to get them to sell, you drop the price. It's no different than any other retailer that exists. You drop the price, you clearance stuff out, you move it. But the entire pricing strategy that I personally have for eBay is not that of race to the bottom. It's not that of purposefully finding the lowest price and then pricing below everybody else. That is not my mindset for pricing on eBay at all. And I do want to take this moment to address another concerning comment that I got. Even though I know that the person that left this comment is not here viewing this video because he clearly said that he was unsubscribing, and so I assume that that means he's not going to watch my content anymore. But I want to bring up this comment and address it just in case there's any of my viewers that might be feeling similarly, that just chose not to say anything, and you might still be here. So let me address this. So this comment appeared on my last From Source to Sold video. I think it was episode 12. So this comment read, "This is the second video you referred to other resellers as greedy. So if a reseller sells at market value, they are greedy by your definition. I don't agree. Sorry, but I'm unsubscribing." First of all, this commenter said that that was the second time that I referred to resellers selling at market value as being greedy. That is not at all what I said, nor what I meant. And unfortunately, I cannot control how someone interprets the things that I say. So if you are a person that has interpreted my saying I am not greedy as me saying I think that resellers that sell at market value are greedy, that is not at all what I meant. And I apologize if any other resellers took offense to that. So a little bit of context, what I think this commenter is referring to, and I can only assume because they didn't really specify. I'm pretty sure what this commenter was referring to is my own comment in my From Source to Sold videos where I say, I'm not greedy, I would gladly take $13 for this item. For instance, I might have said, this lantern is $30 on Amazon, but I'm only going to ask $12 for it. I am not greedy, I am happy with an $8 profit. I feel like that commenter interpreted that comment as, I am saying that any reseller that sells at market value is greedy, and that's not what I meant at all. I am just simply trying to communicate my own personal pricing strategy for my own personal Facebook selling model. I do not at all think that resellers are greedy. The only time I would consider a reseller being greedy is if they are grossly overpricing an item, and we're talking like a price gouging situation. You want to talk about greedy? I sold chapstick for $40 a tube because it was discontinued, okay? Like, I have no problem with getting market value for items. What I have a problem with is somebody grossly overcharging an item that has no business being that expensive. So let me go back to what I just said about selling a $40 tube of chapstick. It's the Burt's Bees brand. It was a discontinued style and a discontinued color. Where did I get the $40 price from, do you ask? It was market value. I knew that this was a discontinued tube of shimmering chapstick. I looked at the current price comps on eBay to see what other sellers were selling it for, and I stayed in line with their prices. It's not like I knew that this tube of chapstick was discontinued, and so I said, I'm gonna sell it for $100 a tube, and just like pulled the number right out of my butt. No, that's not what I did. I looked at what other sellers were currently selling this discontinued tube of chapstick for on eBay, and I priced right in line with all of the other sellers that had this discontinued tube of Burt's Bees Cocoa Shimmer chapstick. Would you call me greedy? I wouldn't call me greedy. I was selling it for the exact same price as everybody else. Now, if everybody else was selling that tube of chapstick for $40 and I had mine priced at $100, would you call me greedy then? Yeah, you might, because it sounds like I'm being pretty greedy. It sounds like I'm just waiting for all of the other $40 chapsticks to sell so that I can get my 100 and take advantage of somebody who has no other choice because maybe it's their favorite shade and they neglected to buy it at a $40 price point. So now I'm the only seller left and they have no choice but to pay $100 for that tube of chapstick from me. Would you call me greedy then? Would I call me greedy then? I might. I think I would actually. But when did I ever say that sellers selling things at market value was greedy? If that was ever implied, I apologize, and I would hope that my viewers would know that's not the kind of seller I am. That's not who I am as a person. That's not who I am as a seller. That's honestly not who I am as a content creator. I am not here to make sellers feel bad. I am here to entertain and tell you guys exactly how exactly I am running my business to in turn give you tips, give you ideas, inspire you to see what can be possible. So if anybody was offended, a backwards way of me saying I thought resellers was greedy, I truly apologize. That is not what I meant. That was not how I was hoping that that comment would be taken. Now that I've said that, moving on, my pricing strategy has actually been very simple regarding eBay, and I'm not even sure if I've come out straight out and actually said these words. But this is how I personally choose to price items for eBay. So now I've told you guys my pricing strategy in pretty good detail for my Facebook sales. I say in every single from source to sold video, I say that I shoot for half of Amazon's price. So if something is $30 on Amazon, I might price it at $15 on my Facebook page, or I might knock an extra couple percents off if an item is in used condition. My pricing strategy for Facebook is very, very clear. What is my exact pricing strategy for eBay? Let's go over that now. If you're still here, thank you. Please do hit the thumbs up if you're still here, because I'm really curious to see how many of you have just sat and listened to me ranting and raving this entire video, and I haven't even talked about my eBay pricing strategy yet. You're still here. Y'all the real MVPs. So now I've had the exact same pricing strategy for eBay for years, but I honestly don't think I've ever come out and actually in a detailed way talked about it. My formula is very, very simple. You ready for it? You ready? I choose one active price, one sold price, I add them together and I divide them. That's what I do. That's what I do. So let me give you an example. So let's say I am selling, I don't know, what am I selling? Let's say I'm selling this computer part and I don't know what price to pick for it. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to search this exact part, the Corsair LL120 RGB LED series fan. I think it's a fan. Is it a computer fan? I don't even know. So I'm just gonna pull numbers out of thin air just for demonstrative purposes. I'm gonna search the active listings. The active listings are the current competing sellers on eBay. And so let's say that the prices are pretty close. Like, let's say that some do $20, some do $22, some do $25. And so I will just kind of look and eyeball an average. So if I see a bunch of $20, I see a bunch, oh, I need to bring up shipping. I need to bring up shipping. So when I'm looking up the active price comps, I will look at the total overall, including the cost of shipping. You know, it doesn't matter if someone's doing free shipping or charge shipping, I look at the total price overall. So let's say that the current market value of something like this is anywhere from $20 to $25, including the shipping cost. I will then just kind of split in the middle and I will say, okay, $23. $23, including shipping, is the average price of this item. I will then check the little box for sold listings and I will see what this is actually selling for the most recent. I will then look at those price comps and I will get another average determination. Now, this can get a little tricky because if best offers are accepted, you don't necessarily know how much the best offer was accepted for if you're just looking at, you know, the regular eBay desktop version or within the app. I don't think that it tells you exactly what the best offer price accepted was. So I just try to use my best judgment based off of not offers, but just straight up buy it now prices. So let's say that the active solds are more like $18 to $22. So the current active is 20 to 25. The current sold is 18 to 22. So now the sold average would be more like 20, because we're talking about the median in between 18 and 22. So then I will add together the active average with the sold average and divide it in half. So that would be 20 plus 23 divided by 2. That's an average of $21.50. And that is how I would get the price for listing this item. Now, remember what I said, I don't do free shipping. So an item this size, I have to give it an estimate. And this is where being a more experienced reseller really comes in, because if you're a newer seller, you might not know exactly how much this is going to cost to ship. But being experienced, I'm just going to say that this is roughly $4 to ship. So I'm going to take that $4 off of the $21.50 average, and that is going to be my list price plus the cost of shipping. So that means that I would be pricing this item at roughly $17.50 plus the cost of calculated shipping. That is how I would price this item on eBay. I know when I'm like throwing numbers and words at you, it probably sounds really convoluted and confusing. I promise it's very, very straightforward. Average active price, average sold price, add those two averages together, divide it in half, that gives you your number. If you do free shipping, that's the number that you use. If you do charge shipping, you take your estimated charge shipping off the top, and that's the price that you do plus calculated shipping. So believe it or not, I actually got my job done. I got my shelves all cleared off. So now when items sell, I actually have a place to put them while they wait to be picked up. I appreciate you guys being here. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Sometimes I kind of just start brain dumping, and I feel like I don't have enough talky kind of videos lately. So let me know if you liked this kind of video, and I will continue to make ones like this where I just kind of let myself ramble and let myself kind of brain dump all over you. Who knows, maybe as I am just like brain dumping all over you, you see, you know, some things that you can just like pick and choose what you want to pick up and put in your pocket for later. And then what stuff you can just kind of leave there and pretend I didn't even say. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all of you so much. Leave me any questions or comments down in the comments below. I greatly appreciate you being here. If you are at all curious to see how I run my business Facebook page and how I am selling all of this stuff on Facebook, easiest way to do that is to just go down into the video description. It's always the first clickable link. That is the link directly to my Facebook page. You can see how I am selling these items in real time. I do also ship items now, as I've mentioned. So if you happen to see anything that you're interested in, you can join in on the fun and just put sold in the comments. If you have not yet subscribed, please do subscribe and ring that notification bell. That way you're notified whenever I post my next video. Thank you guys so much for being here and watching, and I will see you with my next one. Bye.